Yo, so the first phase of the beta is just about complete. It's the last day, and it's going to reset hopefully towards the second phase without a delay, really. Um, I don't know exactly what the second phase would be, whether it be continuing to 60 by leveling, or whether it's just instant 60 and starting to do some raids and test them out and stuff. Who knows, really, but we're just getting through it, of course. And I wanted to just share my experience and thoughts and stuff on what the difference really feels like, the quest increase in action, what I use to help me understand the difference as well, and some bugs on the way as well. So first of all, uh, let's talk about the quest increase in action. As you can see here at the top right, it's quest experience increased by 25%. It's it's not mob experience increased, it's just quest experience increased. So it's just as soon as you complete the quest, that's what is increased really, just the quest experience. Originally, I would imagine most people thought it was just quest in general, but it's just quest experience, that's it. Um, so to go on this, I would say grouping is a lot more common, especially since quests are like the go-to way to level up. You know, you want to be doing quests a lot faster, so grouping for quests is a lot more common because you can do those quests faster. And sure, you lose out on a bit of mob experience, since you're pretty much grouped up with people and you're losing out on some mob experience here and there, but you're getting a lot more value bang for your buck because you're doing, the quest a lot faster. And I definitely felt that in this first phase of the beta because I had a lot of experiences with people being more willing to group up because that way they can get the quest a lot faster and so can I. And it's just a nice feeling because it doesn't ruin that aspect of the social aspect of leveling, which I really like. Sure, it shortens it by a tad, because you level a little bit faster, only a little bit, but it definitely makes it a little bit more designed towards grouping, and in an MMO that makes it a little bit more nice. Um, few examples, for a few examples would be like a druid in Barrens, like the south near Baal Modan. I think it's called Baal Modan. Yeah. Um, we were doing some kill quests there, and we decided to group up. Like we didn't know each other. We just decided to group up because it was a nice way to like experience this difference in XP, and we managed to do all the kill stuff, even the drop quests where you have to like get the drops. I know it's a lot of a hassle to do it with a group because you have to grind more mobs, but we still did it, and we did the 3 or 4 quests there. I also grouped up with two protection warriors. They were literally leveling with one-handed and shields, which was funny, and I leveled with those in Hillsbrad, if I can get that up, Hillsbrad, in the Azure mine because they were doing their quest for their level 20 quest or something. I don't know what the warrior one is. I think it's like some armor or something. But they were doing that, and I was just trying to get some skulls. So I figured we just group up, we do the quest together, we help each other out, and it definitely feels like there's more aspect to just grouping up really, and I really enjoy that. Um, but that's enough about that. Um, let's talk about the open world really. It definitely felt more vibrant and more like more popular. Like this is an example, but in like leveling areas, for example, just barrens, uh, Thousand Needles, Mulgore, Duratar, all the places, they were really packed up. It's not just because so many people are playing, it's just because, dungeons isn't the only way of leveling up. For example, in TBC, everyone was just focused on leveling up so that way they can do their quest after and be more efficient and stuff. But since this is just mainly, like in this version of Classic, is more about quest experience increased. Everyone's just doing questing, which feels really nice. It feels more like an MMO. Um, so to experience this type of difference, I used Guideline. I'll just put it here. So this was originally made for Classic. It obviously had its own other versions for like probably Retail and TBC Classic, but I used this for Classic. I used this in particular for Season Mastery Classic because it was made for the other Classic in 2019. You probably wonder why I'm using this, but since this was made for the original Classic, I figured if I use this in Season of Mastery, I can definitely feel the difference in the leveling. And I used Bustea's Horde's leveling guide to see the difference. And the way I would find the difference is basically if I can skip a few quests, or if I don't skip quests, or I skip quests, or I skip mob grinding, whichever one it comes up to, I can definitely see how far it takes me into this guide. So, for example, in level 1 to 11, when everything was too popular, I had to skip at least 3 quests, like in the Undead Zone, there was like a pumpkin quest and a little box quest you had to do in Death Knell, and there was another quest like some Murloc stuff. Like I skipped like at least 3, and I figured skipping 3 might be a huge deal in this version, but it's good to test out to see the difference. And I was still leveling in yellows, like there was no there was no greens, but there was no oranges or reds. It was definitely it was definitely at that point where I felt like I was in a decent leveling spot. So if I didn't skip those, I would have been like around greens and yellows, which tells me this leveling is definitely tuned right, I would say, especially for the questing part at least. So in that regards, it's pretty nice. Um, I did take it a little bit further as well. For example, I ignored about 5 quests during this level here, this level 21 to 31 guide. As you can see, I'm only near the end of it now because um, I can't really get past level 30, of course, it's at the cap, supposedly at least. And I would definitely say I skipped about 5 quests and I only needed to mob grind for about 1 to 2 bars. And that was about 5 quests on this guide. Like, if I didn't skip those quests, if I didn't like feel like it was worth skipping and I just went for it, I wouldn't have needed to mob grind at all really. Which just shows the difference because in this guide, made originally for Classic, if you didn't skip those, you still had to do the mob grinds. And in this case, if I skip some quests, I only have to do the mob grinds for a little bit, which is a huge difference, and I think it really helps out in me understanding the difference between this. And I would say it's a huge help really. The quest increase really makes it so you don't have to mob grind too much, and you don't have to be forced to do random quests that really aren't worth your XP. It's just so you can skip the mob grinds intentionally. And I would say it's a really good design choice. Really, it doesn't really affect the social aspect of leveling. Like, sure, you level a little bit faster, which means that your experience on the journey is a tiny bit smaller, but only a tiny bit. But yet, there's more intention. There's more reason to level up together with people, group up in quests, like mob killing quests and stuff, and that's nice. Like that's a really good reason why I think this is a good choice, like a good design choice, really. Um, but there is like 3 things I do want to talk about though in the bugs. Um, one of which is the launch, of course. The launch was yet again chaotic, just like an original classic. Take it as you will if that's really up your alley if you wanted that, but constantly trying to reconnect and play the game and then trying to create the character and then you get booted off, and then you have to wait in order to actually go on your character. It's fun for a little bit, but it's not really, the experience that you want. You just want to play the game. You don't want to just be stuck in a waiting room all the time. But that's just me, though. Um, Another one would be Prisoner of Dungeons. I call it this way because it definitely feels like it. Around when I was a level 20, I think 27, I was doing a Black Fathom Deeps dungeon, just trying to chill and level, do the rest of my quests in there. And near the end of it, just after we completed the dungeon, we couldn't half out. We couldn't leave the party and use the teleport out method. We couldn't even walk out the entrance. We were stuck in there indefinitely. You try to log out and log back in, and you're still inside that instance. And even if you logged out like completely, you just wouldn't be able to log on the servers in general. It didn't make sense to me that the servers were off, but you could still be in the world. It just felt weird. But eventually they fixed that the next day I came on, so thankfully they're not going to have that type of issue. Well, thankfully they found that issue during the beta at least, so they don't have it in Season of Mastery. There is one issue though, I don't know if it's still consisting, 31 to 40. There are some people who are leveling inside dungeons, for example. They literally, they can go past level 30, but they can't log out, otherwise they won't be able to log back in. Originally, when I found this out, there was like level 32s, level 33s, and there was a level 35 shaman. They were just trying to level up as quickly as they could, but to me it just felt a little bit stupid. Um, I don't know why they were able to level up past that point. Obviously, this isn't really a bug for like the experience that we're gonna have in Classic Season of Mastery, because this is just a cap issue. It's nothing really that we're gonna experience. But that's pretty much it. I would say I've really enjoyed the first week, first phase of the beta. Definitely a nice, fun time. I mean, I'm subscribed to this game and I play a beta instead of playing TBC. It shows TBC is definitely not up my alley anymore. But that's it. Um, Thanks for watching and stuff. Cheers.